we'll go ahead and get started. Yeah, like I said earlier, this is the DePin Deep Dive. We're talking about Super, NVIDIA, Polygon. We've got Nukri, who is the founder and CEO of Super Protocol, Yulia, COO of Super Protocol. We've got Roman, who's the Chief Strategy Officer at Super as well. And then we've got Rob from NVIDIA. And so I think what we're going to do, just to start things off, let's just kind of go around and can each of you just like briefly introduce yourselves and your roles within your respective companies. Let's start with Rob to begin for us, please.
Sounds good. Thanks for that introduction. Yeah, very excited to be here. My name is Rob Nertney. I am a software architect at NVIDIA, primarily concerned in working on our trusted computing solutions. And so that will involve the confidential computing that's come out on our Hopper H100 and beyond. And I'm super excited to be working with good partners like Super here and looking forward to chatting with you guys on how we can bring this product and NVIDIA GPUs out to even more people in the market.
Thank you for that intro, Rob. Yeah, very excited and happy to have you here. And then we'll go with the Super team here. We'll go. Let's go Nukri. I hope I'm saying that right. We'll do Nukri, Yulia, and then Roman for your introductions.
Hi everyone, my name is Nukri. I'm serial entrepreneur, CEO, and founder of Super Protocol. I have PhD in nuclear physics, worked at CERN in Geneva. 13 years ago, I became an early believer of confidential computing technology, started from Intel and currently supported by all major manufacturers, and started building projects for large brands who wanted to process their customer data in confidential computing environment. I have built successful projects for Disney, Pearson, large telecommunication companies, banks. 2 years ago, when AI revolution started, I focused on all my team on confidential AI use cases because I'm huge believers that AI is good as your data is good, and data first of all should be I got it from my previous project, should be private, valuable, confidential. So I'm building Super to let everyone to share their data and model to prevent leakages and same time cannibalization and make this environment truly available confidential computing environment based on NVIDIA GPUs for everyone. And I believe we will be able to shape the AI economy as we know it today. And I'm very excited to talk about this today.
Thank you very much. And Yulia, let's get a little brief introduction about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Yulia. I've spent over 18 years at Intel, where I led large-scale projects, developed incentive programs targeting Intel consumers, and championed confidential computing. In the last decade at Intel, I closely worked with Intel and his core team on various projects focused on secure decentralized computing and IP technologies. And now at Super, I manage operations and business development, collaborating with our amazing partners like NVIDIA, Intel, and Polygon. So Justin, Rob, thank you very much for both of you and your teams for making this joint event happen today. And I'm super excited to be here as well.
Yeah, we're excited as well. And then last but definitely not least, Mr. Roman, if you give yourself an introduction, please.
Thank you, of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Roman, I Chief Strategy at Super Protocol. I'm a former PwC advisor manager with 7 plus years of experience in digital transformation, business automation, finance, and other industries from both a strategic and implementation perspective. In the Super team, I do all things related to business planning of the AI marketplace economy that we build from the supply and the demand sides. I also drive the investor relations in the current financing ground. And by the way, because we are a startup, all of us, including CTO and our CPO, work on many tasks together, from interviewing clients to designing the tokenomics for the marketplace, planning features, So thanks for having us today. I hope this talk will be useful for builders in the AI industry.
Absolutely, yeah. And as we kind of start digging in to all the details of what this collaboration and working together looks like, I guess this first question I'm just going to ask you the super team in general, and maybe Roman more specifically, but uh, just for our audience who might not be as familiar, what is Super Protocol, and what inspired this collaboration between Super Protocol and NVIDIA?
Yeah, to understand this, I think you need to understand the problem that Super Protocol solves. So the AI industry is based on collaborations between companies that have unique data sets, develop models, build AI-powered services, and so on. And to collaborate with any party, you need to share your data and models in a secure way without losing control over them or compromising the privacy. And so to do the AI training or inference with other parties, you need a secure environment, right? That protects data and models from the disclosure. And in Super, we use NVIDIA GPUs confidential computing features to create exactly this kind of secure environment. The data and their models are protected from disclosure from any party, including us, including the server owner. And also the attestation reports verify that a certain model or data has been used in computations. So you get the results you wanted. And this is all due to NVIDIA GPU's confidential computing features that enable confidential collaborations between AI companies. But there is another huge problem that needs to be solved on top of that. Imagine to let thousands of companies rent their models and data from each other at one marketplace. You need to get rid of this centralized business model and centralized administration completely. Think about this. Thousands of AI companies and autonomous agents want to monetize their data sets, models, applications without losing control over them and get their fair profits for their assets being utilized. And who will run the marketplace? Who will provide the confidential environment and do all the bookkeeping for everyone's transactions in this economy? A centralized model, it just doesn't work for doing this. The trusted economy and economic and computational layer for AI industry. But you can absolutely do this when you combine confidential computing with blockchain. And this is what makes Super Protocol unique. It's a decentralized protocol that allows everyone to rent data sets and models from anyone. It provides a confidential environment, a verification of computing results, and it also tracks everyone's transactions history on blockchain using Polygon blockchain. So people pay each other with a native token or stable coins. Any pricing model is available via smart contracts on Polygon. All transactions are transparent on blockchain. And overall, you monetize your models and data in a secure way, and no centralized administration defines who and how you should work with. And I'm finishing. Yeah. And most importantly, our team did this before. We built one of the biggest projects in decentralized confidential computing in the world. It was called Agrigio, and it was valued by KPMG at 300 million in 2020. So back to 2020, the market for confidentiality was driven by big brands. Retail, telecom, FMCG companies used Agrigio to get data from their customer base, provide them with incentives for doing so. But now it is 2024, and the AI industry needs a similar solution. So we recreated the concept again with the latest AI confidential computing stack available on the market. And we spend a lot of time working with the NVIDIA confidential computing team to integrate this technology into our product and also to tell about our solution to the world. Yeah, and we're going to discuss this in detail today as well, I believe.
Yes, we are, and thanks for that. I like kind of providing all that background and history as well. I think that helps put a lot of this conversation into perspective, especially when we start digging in a little bit more on confidential computing and like Web3 AI, which yeah, we're going to do that right now. Actually, why not? Yulia, would you mind like kind of digging in a little bit deeper, double clicking and like explaining like what confidential computing is and like why is that, confidential computing, why is that crucial for the future of like AI economies in general?
Yes, Justin, sure. So, why is confidential computing what it is and why it's crucial? Yeah. So, in very simple terms, confidential computing is about computations in a protected part of the memory known as TE, Trusted Execution Environment, or Secure Enclave. And this isolation is performed on the hardware level, and it ensures that no one can access the data and code while they are being computed. And this way, companies can effectively protect the data from unauthorized third-party access. And as Nukri said, all major chip manufacturers nowadays offer this confidential computing. And so why this confidential computing is crucial? This technology allows to fundamentally reshape the AI economy as we know it today. And the AI economy relies on the ability to share and monetize data models and AI agents between parties without compromising confidentiality and ownership rights. But as Roman said, simply renting a GPU with confidential mode from a cloud service provider is not enough for these kind of AI collaboration use cases. Whoever controls and manages this account still has access to the data and model of everyone involved. To eliminate this point of trust, we placed our super protocol, our cloud and marketplace under the orchestration of smart contracts on Polygon. And these smart contracts process all transactions between parties, such as GPU provider, data, and AI model owners, in a decentralized and fully automated way. And as the result, we reshape the AI economy in a fully user-owned and self-sovereign mode. And confidentiality and decentralization work together to enable trustless collaboration between everyone who develop AI products, work with AI agents, or provide and improve models and valuable data sets. So by using confidential computing in this way, we ensure that the new AI economy will be built on the foundation of security, privacy, will be trustless or explicit, explicit trust through technology enabled and self-sovereign. And this will allow to boost the innovation through open collaboration.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. And then, yeah, Rob, like from NVIDIA's perspective, like how are you seeing like the key benefits of confidential computing for AI projects and why like does like decentralization matters for this?
Yeah, I think that, both Yulia and Roman were right on top of that here at the beginning of saying that, NVIDIA wants to enable, right? So we want to make sure that we have the technology provided such that you can use the acceleration of our hardware in as easy to use possible, ways as possible. And confidential computing is just kind of that next step, right? I know we talk about here a lot of decentralization of saying, you've got company A who has spent all their time and money on creating this, super optimized model, and they don't want to lose control of that. But then you also have company B, and they have all of this data that they also don't want to lose control of. And then you have party C, just, me as an end user wanting to combine these two to get kind of a value add service. And I don't want my data that I ask it to get compromised as well. So the decentralization is, very important where, you give what I like to call the confidential clean room, right? Where these, business can happen and it can happen in a very trustworthy and secured, a testable way. And NVIDIA just wants to make sure that we know obviously that everyone has the use for accelerated computing as we enter the future here, but just building a great model and not being able to sell it isn't going to get more people using GPUs. Likewise, if you have all this data that we've been collecting over the last 30-ish years of the internet, you can't just sell that data, right? You've got compliance, you've got regulatory regimes, things that you've got to do to make sure that you can't or do not lose control under sometimes penalty of law. So it's not just seeing the market of having business happen between these companies of model owner, data owner, and end user, but sometimes it's also being able to work on data that you haven't historically been able to work on because of regulatory. So, banking, trying to detect fraud, human trafficking, there's a bunch of these, things that you can do where not having all the data shared amongst all parties is very important. So NVIDIA, we just really like to make sure that we can enable all of these use cases that the market is asking for.
Well, yeah, thanks for that perspective. And then Nukri, like when Super Protocol uses confidential computing, I guess how are you using it to build like this self-sovereign AI cloud in marketplace? Like how does that all fit in together?
Thanks for your question. First of all, try to imagine yourself as a startupper who is developing something in AI landscape, and you wanted to collaborate. You wanted to aggregate to users their data and provide something, an AI service. And I'm expecting that in coming years, if someone is talking hundreds of billions AI agents based on private data, personal data, who will serve us every day in absolutely different spheres, will be developed. It means that army of developers, users, valuable data, financial transactions, etc., 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 will be involved in this AI huge bubble. And who to trust all this to? Who will run and manage all this? Of course, there is a way to centralize everything. We will trust, top clouds, and they will provide for us everything, like AI God, right? I'm sorry. If you choose this centralized solution, someone will manage your access. Someone will be responsible to sign contracts, agreements, restrictions, usage rules of your solution. In the decentralized architecture of Super Protocol, providers of computation resources, model data, everything works in confidential and verifiable mode. It means then everyone can participate in this AI economy. And Super Protocol ensures that only smart contracts, as Yulia mentioned before, can manage your computing infrastructure, applications, data, processes, everything. And Super Protocol is built as an ecosystem where computing resources providers, application developers, data owners can securely collaborate. And if you are choosing to hold everything on your private server, or you are choosing Microsoft Azure, or you are choosing data center from an OVH cloud, everyone can securely collaborate, and it doesn't matter where you're holding and deploying your solution. Everyone can, by trusted execution environment at Super Protocol, can be guaranteed that no one can cannibalize or prevent and will be behind. Everything behind of smart contracts is governed and regulated only by smart contract. This is very important thing. I call it Web3 compliant solutions. And the most important thing in the Super, you as a user you are as a user, you are owning your computing stack. I call it self-sovereign computing. It means when someone is providing to you AI agent based on Super, ecosystem, protocol, and provider and developer can guarantee to everyone that this data and models are available only for you, and no one can reject and decrypt your data and use it for illegal purposes. And this is what we believe, and this is what Web3 can bring in a novel AI world.
That is very exciting, personally. And then Roman, I get like on the strategic collaboration and market adoption side of things, like, can you explain how the confidential AI economy on these Web3 principles, like how does that different from today's centralized AI economy? I think we touched on this a little bit, but I kind of want to dig in a little bit more if you want to answer that one.
Absolutely. That's a great question. Thank you. And I think centralized AI is effective for training large models because tens of thousands of GPUs and a data center bundled together are always more efficient for this task than a decentralized protocol. But when it comes to collaborations between companies in hundreds of unique scenarios, centralization has, I'd say, several major problems. First, today's centralized AI marketplaces aren't confidential. That is why only open source assets are listed there. People protect their proprietary models and data, we can understand them. And second, centralized marketplaces have administrators. You can trust them not to use your data to train their models, or not to replicate your intellectual property like a valuable model. Next, centralized AI marketplaces capitalize on the data and models that users publish by selling them cloud computing. But the data or model owners can't really get paid when their assets are used. That is why people publish only open source assets, low value assets. And of course, the centralized marketplace can do the bookkeeping for thousands of companies that collaborate in their unique scenarios, rent each other their assets. It's not a bank, right? And these problems are solved in the community-owned confidential AI economy. First, confidential compliant hardware enables collaboration in a protected environment as a basis for trust. Second, there is no administrator with access to your data because GPUs are governed by the smart contracts on Polygon in our case. And third, smart contracts allow everyone to price their data and models in any way they want and transparently track on blockchain their profits, their bills. So, and on top of that, the token mechanics of a decentralized marketplace, they ideally suit for stimulating users to bring more and more assets to this economy. This is a free market, right? So people start bringing more GPUs, more data set, fine-tune better models, because now they can get paid for that. Millions of developers can participate in any value-adding roles that you can imagine, like providing data preparation, data labeling, fine-tuning of models, reinforcement learning, human feedback, or other services to the community. So, and in the end, the revenues from end products can be transparently split between all the contributors, including GPU owners and operators, data and model providers, and even customers themselves, rewarding them for sharing their valuable data in a confidential mode, of course. And these profits bring more assets into the economy. So I would say these are main differences. Super AI marketplaces and a new type of inclusive AI economy where all individual contribution is incentivized, gets paid, and everyone's products are constantly reused as a building blocks for further development by others. I would say those are the main differences between super and the centralized economy.
That's great, and I'm always interested too when you do have two different projects or companies like working with each other, like how that collaboration works. And Yulia, I think you might be best to answer this as the COO, but like how does Super Protocol engage with the NVIDIA team in building this confidential like AI economy?
Justin, NVIDIA is awesome, I would say. So I am a CEO, but I'm also the key point of contact for all T manufacturers. So, and I'm working very closely with NVIDIA specifically. So we engage with NVIDIA on multiple levels. First of all, we are the member of NVIDIA Inception program, and we have a dedicated security partner manager who helps us on various directions and even to navigate within NVIDIA as a global company. We are also directly covered by enterprise sales team. So we have a dedicated account manager and also the senior solution architect. So these are more related to really, customer oriented collaboration between us and what is our needs and how NVIDIA could support us here. We are also engaged very deeply with NVIDIA confidential computing extended team, how I call a lot of people from their side, because they help us with technical enablement. They provide technical support, product consultations, and even access to NVIDIA GPUs in confidential mode. And it helps in our development, planning, and even customer demonstrations. Ecosystem matching is another important focus for me personally. So our cloud and marketplace is actually where supply and demand of AI meet. And currently NVIDIA connects us with their ecosystem players, such as GPU cloud providers, miners, and AI hardware manufacturers. So this is a really very valuable opportunity to connect with specific companies much quicker. And also we work with NVIDIA marketing, who supports our effort to raise awareness of confidential computing on GPUs and overall the confidential and self-sovereign AI. So, for example, in June, Nukri delivered a joint panel with Mike O'Connor from NVIDIA, who joined us to talk about Web3 and AI. And this full session and 10 minutes recap is available on our YouTube channel as well as via NVIDIA. We also had conducted a real-time AI processing workshop by our CTO, Andrei, and we used H100 that was provided by NVIDIA Launchpad, and we onboarded H100 to Super Protocol Marketplace and made step-by-step demonstration. And this information, everything was recorded and also available on our YouTube channel. And even today's event is also a part of our joint awareness efforts with marketing, and I would say with NVIDIA extended team, of which for me, Rob is a part of. And overall, I do believe that as we continue to evolve as a super protocol company, more opportunities will emerge, and we will look more to extend the collaborations around AI developers and AI-driven companies that, of course, NVIDIA has strong access and connection to.
That's amazing. Yeah, love to see that type of collaboration. And I don't know, Nukri, like, what is the strategy for Super Protocol to bring GPU providers to your cloud?
I believe key value is demand, of course, for any business, right? If you are holding your GPUs, you're providing GPUs and you wanted to make money. In Super, we believe that we can bet on collaboration between companies we talked about before. And whether you are a small startup or a large corporation, doesn't matter. The challenges of confidential collaboration are becoming more and more common. We saw it many times in our previous projects when large companies who are holding a lot of personal, super important data wanted to collaborate with small retailers, small companies to create common value for them, like loyalty programs, digital marketing activities, how to collaborate with them. And this is let's say, party collaboration. And Super easily solves this problem. You can create your own scenarios, and you can provide the services for developers easily. And I believe that it will create demand for GPU owners, and it will create business for them. We have seen this many times, as I said, and collaboration and integration between AI ML market participants, I believe, will generate this demand. We see how the companies I named above understand this trend. We are signing agreements with them every day, and but at the same time, we wanted to prevent too much centralization in Super Protocol. That's why we will launch GPU computing pools, because centralization and decentralization should be balanced, right? And we are believer of decentralization, but same time we wanted to call as much as possible GPU providers, and some of them are super big, and yeah, it should be balanced. The goal is to create these pools. I'm a believer of pool, like mining pools. I believe in computing confidential pools where any provider or investor of computational computing resources, regardless of size, will be able to participate in the computation network. Yeah, first of all, I will summarize. First of all, demand is silver bullet, but same time, democratization and decentralization of providers is very important. This combination gives us this win-win story.
All right, thank you so much for that. And I'll take a brief intermission real quick to just kind of address the audience. First of all, audience, thank you for being here to listen to this Spaces. Please do us a favor. Please give our esteemed panelists a follow. These are two very high impact projects who are building in the blockchain space. And I think one of the best ways to stay up to date is to give them a follow on Twitter. I do want to give a shout out to some of our some of our friends in the audience. Twan, I see you there. Matt LaRose, Jared, Iceberg, Lucius. A lot of our friends that continue to come to so many of our spaces. And I just want to give you a special shout out specifically. So thank you for coming. So yeah, back to some of these panel discussions. I kind of want to focus on, like what's happening right now in like the real world applications and impact side of things. So I think Rob, this would be an interesting question for you. If you can think of any examples of confidential computing that are making, I guess, what you would consider like a real world impact, just in your experience.
Yeah, I think what I've started to see, and we've talked about it a couple of times, and I teed it up, I think, without meaning to prior, but it's two big categories that I'm seeing here. It's people who, like I said, have done all this work and want to find a way to share all of their hard work, whether it be a model or data, in a method that makes them money. And you will have some big companies who have the data and have the models and have the hardware, and they can have this big centralized storage area. But at the end of the day, it all kind of comes down to there's a lot of good ideas out there, a lot of good market yet to be tapped. And so utilizing this and rewarding those who provide the GPUs, which are a hot commodity right now, is something really, I think, valuable from what we're seeing on the super side here. And the real world examples, like I said, if we look at the money perspective, it's someone wants to. Wouldn't it be great if all of us at our respective companies could have a personalized LLM model chatbot that I could ask, hey, what does this line of code mean? Or, hey, I think we sold this much stuff to this company, 8 years ago, but I can't find that email. I think Jim was on the line, and all of this is very personal to your company. And you would be able to very quickly, identify, code history, sales history, a little bit of inference on what could happen. So I think that we start to see that cracking open here with, LLMs and the security of the model, because obviously the person who created that doesn't want to give it to that enterprise, because then why would they be paying for it? And how do they control it after you deploy these weights to the GPU on the enterprise? On a more humanistic way, we are seeing a lot of federated learning. And this is, kind of swarm learning, which is great in this kind of use case that we're talking about here, kind of decentralized, where for example, it's that regulatory stuff. So in the US, we've got HIPAA. In the UK, we've got, or in the EU, we've got GDPR. And everybody wants a cure for cancer, right? And there's no doubt there, right? But at the same time, I can't just drop all of my patients' medical records from hospital A to hospital B and have, this giant centralized location of everyone who's ever had cancer's medical records in a very centralized, in the clear location, and then start running massive amounts of AI training on it, despite the fact the ends could, arguably justify the means. And we just don't allow that. And, I think that that's a wise decision, is to maintain control of this data for all of our sakes, really. And really having here, this federated learning aspect, you can start to send the models to the individual hospitals and they can train on their private data. And then while it's in use, the model can remain encrypted. And then they can return these results that can therefore be used to supplement into the kind of global model here. And everyone benefits because no personally identifiable information is shared. And then another, for the greater good would probably be banking, right? Human trafficking and fraud detection of money laundering. These are big issues that kind of affect everybody in the world here. And, you're not going to have bank A and bank B share all of their transaction history for all of their customers with each other. But these bad guys are, clever and smart, and they're going through multiple banks with shells and this and that. And if you can have everything securely, safely, and kind of maintaining the respect of privacy in hardware enabled, testable, multiple eyes, of people who would have to collude to break any sort of this, this security, it really starts to benefit humanity as a whole. So, it really at a high level covers everything with confidential computing, right? It's private enterprise, you want to make money, and we're going to let you make money safely. And for the greater good, we want to protect our people's, privacy while still being able to identify things that will help, better humanity as a whole. So really, I think that, yeah, at the end of the day, there's real world experiences all over the place that are going to really start to ramp up with confidential computing.
That's amazing, and it looks like we are starting to run up on time a little bit, but I want to make sure that we kind of look out towards the future a little bit. So, Rob, while I have you, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you another question, just kind of related to like some like what are the upcoming innovations from NVIDIA that you feel like our audience should be paying attention to and looking forward to, like in the area of confidential computing, decentralized blockchain, or just anything on the roadmap that like really stands out to you that's exciting personally?
Yeah, I think that right now, our biggest thing is continuing to partner with, our ISVs, and, collaborate with the likes of Super, and, try and bring GPUs to the masses, to the enterprise, to the, just make it easier to use for everybody. And, we're in our Gen 1 confidential computing, as I like to call it, with Hopper. We did announce at the Confidential Computing Summit this year of Blackwell and its innovations, just really trying to bring the ubiquity of not even knowing that you're in CC mode, right? That's our goal, and that's what you're going to start to see. It's easy today. It's going to be even easier, almost ubiquitous tomorrow, and that's what I'm excited from, the hardware perspective. But in the meantime, it's there. We're ready, and we're very excited to be working with partners like Super on enabling the masses.
That's amazing. And then I'm going to ask the same thing to the Super Protocol team. Just like what on the roadmap is sticking out to you the most? Like, what's the most exciting in terms of like expanding your AI cloud and marketplace? I don't know who wants to answer this. Maybe like Yulia, Nukri, Roman, whoever wants to take it.
Let me take it. So, yes, just before, just stating that we actually are in public testnet mode, up and running in confidential mode for over 1.5 years. And our superprotocol.com website, our own website, is actually runs inside the secure enclave using our technology. So we actually practice what we preach. So we are proud of that. And so for the plans, very briefly, from the milestones and timelines perspective, we plan to launch H100 in private preview and then in public testnet. So the waitlist to access the H100 is already open on our website, and anyone can apply if interested. In September, we plan to launch the public AI marketplace. So everyone will be able to publish their own AI models and data sets, and it will be like Hugging Face, but with the ability to share and monetize AI models and data in a fully confidential and self-sovereign mode. And we will test it on selected community members. And then in Q4, we will launch the fully functional tokenomics in testnet mode. So all the companies will be able to pay to providers of GPU resources and use that for that reason to use our testnet token. And we do work on the extensive, comprehensive incentivization program, both that will cover demand and supply parties, such as data and AI model owners, as well as GPU providers and GPU pools. And as the result, we believe that we will get ready technically for TGE and mainnet closer like to Q1, and in Q1 we will launch our mainnet on Polygon. So yeah, this is pretty very brief, but the key milestones and timelines for the coming months.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, we are up on time, but I'm just going to give one more final opportunity, I guess, for Nukri or Roman to share like any final thoughts for the audience.
Just a little bit of statistic about requests in Super who are coming. Five most popular requests are from teams who are developing AI assistants. I see managing of valuable data, personal data on second. Digital marketing, I was really surprised, and it's a really interesting story. Various oracles and Web3 gaming. I'm sharing this statistic for everyone who is listening us. Maybe it will be useful.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And then any other final thoughts before we close up shop?
Yeah, let me quickly maybe recommend to projects and anything that wants to test our confidential AI on Super. So we basically preparing to launch H100, as Julia said, in a confidential mode. Invite projects to join the waitlist. You can join it on superprotocol.com. Feel free to ask to be contacted if you want us to help with setting everything up. Also, read the documentation. There is the detailed architecture, the white paper, and the deployment guides that allow you to launch test applications in a confidential environment. Right now, you can experiment with various applications published on the marketplace, image recognition models, fully confidential messenger where no one can access your chats, including the server owner and the supercritical ping. There is also a confidential oracle where the machine fetches the off-chain data to the blockchain. You can also run games like Minecraft and Super to check the scalability and speed. Also, follow our announcements for incentives programs for both GPU providers and AI developers. We are planning to reward bringing data and models to our marketplace with our token. This is a nice bonus to the ability to earn on your models and data by simply publishing them on the marketplace. Ask any questions in our Discord and Telegram. And thanks for your interest in building a confidential, community-owned AI economy with us.
Yeah, and one final thank you to Yulia, Nukri, Roman, and Rob. This has been a very exciting conversation. I've learned a lot. I think it's very exciting to see how blockchain, decentralization, AI, and confidential computing can all intersect to just make the world a better place. And so, like I said to the audience one final time, please scroll up to the top, find our esteemed panelists, and just give them a follow to stay, help stay up to date on everything that's going on in the DePIN AI blockchain space. So thank you all again, and we will catch you next time. Thanks, everyone.